Hello everyone, and welcome to day 3 of Hawkridge Systems Design to Manufacture Conference. My name is Glenn White, and I'll be your host as we kick off another jam-packed day discussing and exploring SOLIDWORKS, 3D printing, and other design technology. For those of us that have joined our general session on YouTube today, you want to be sure to sign up for the full conference experience at the link in the YouTube description. But as you've probably seen, if you've joined us for the past 2 days, our Design to Manufacture conference interface gives you plenty of opportunities to explore SOLIDWORKS and other technologies through the virtual exhibition floor. You can join virtual roundtables to engage with other designers and chat with the presenters, and plenty of opportunities for interaction through the various chat streams that are available. Today, we've got another busy slate of 6 technical breakout sessions with great stuff on advanced analysis, 3D scanning, additive manufacturing, and a session that I'm really looking forward to on electrical design with Saran Haldar and Charles Mayu at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And we would love to acknowledge the support of our sponsors, DriveWorks, CamWorks, Markforged, HP, SolidWorks, Post-Process Technologies, and Predator. Without them, we wouldn't have been able to provide over 20 hours of technical content for you all to put an event like this in place. Well, I think we can all agree this is a different type of event compared to meeting in person. And while we're going to have occasional blips with audio and video and internet connection, both on our end and yours, it's been incredible to see the level of interaction with the over 1,000 attendees we've had this week. It's amazing to be able to speak with you all, and I know the entire team at Hawkridge Systems thanks you all for being part of it. We really appreciate your contribution to making this a really amazing event. And don't forget, there's a prize draw for those that continue to interact through the event. So visit the exhibition floor, check out the great software and hardware products on display. We'll announce the winners of that contest after the end of the conference, and we'll contact the winners directly, and you'll see some updates to the leaderboard as we resolve a couple of back-end issues. In today's session, we're planning to look to the future and give an overview of the 3D experience and some of the technology that's being developed along with that initiative. You've likely heard a lot about the 3D experience from SOLIDWORKS and Dassault Systems, but you may not have a clear picture of what it actually is and what it means for us as CAD designers using SOLIDWORKS. Today, we've got 3 guest speakers ready to give you a detailed overview of what some of the tools and technology on the 3D experience will mean for us, both now and in the future. And we'll discuss how those 3D experience tools will interact with the desktop SOLIDWORKS that we all use. And as Mark Peterson shared on Tuesday, that is not going anywhere and is under active development. To give us an overview of the 3D experience and what it means for us, we're lucky enough to have one of the most respected voices in the CAD industry with us today. As a technology evangelist working with some of the biggest CAD products in the world, she has spoken to over 500,000 design professionals at events all over the world. And through a column in Catalyst magazine, online presentations and videos, she's connected with millions more. She's passionate about connecting with users and helping them take advantage of new technology and developments. And we're excited to have her here today to kick off our discussion of the 3D experience. It's my great pleasure to introduce Lynn Allen, Global Technology Evangelist at DS SOLIDWORKS. Lynn, thanks so much for joining us today.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, Glenn. Thanks for that great introduction. And I'm very excited that I get this opportunity to present to all of you today. Once again, I'm a global technology evangelist for SOLIDWORKS, and we're going to talk about what the power of the 3D Experience platform means to you, our SOLIDWORKS user. Okay, now I bet that many of you feel like this, right? You can have my SOLIDWORKS when you pry it out of my cold, dead hands, okay? So I just want you to know that we totally understand that. I want to make this clear. You heard this from Glenn. I'm sure you've heard this earlier in the conference as well. And I'm going to tell you this from Dassault Systems. I'm going to tell you this from SolidWorks, that we are not canceling, we're not terminating, we're not getting rid of, we're not stopping all of the great improvements that you're hoping will continue to be added to your SolidWorks. We're not forcing you to get rid of your perpetual licenses. We're not making you go to SaaS. We want you to be happy customers. We're not doing anything to your beloved SolidWorks. Okay. And so when we talk about the 3D Experience platform, we are talking about extending and adding on to the power of SolidWorks. So it's really, really important that you understand that it is not SolidWorks or, all right, this is SolidWorks and that's what we're going to be talking about today, adding on to the power of what you already have, making SolidWorks even better. And once again, this is only if you want it. It's there if you want it. And I'm going to be talking about it, and you can decide if you want it or you can decide if you don't want it. Okay. All right. We're just going to educate you today. But I feel like this is how most of you are out there feeling right now. You're like, no, I just want my SolidWorks. I want you guys just to leave me alone. I don't know what this 3D Experience stuff is, but I don't want it. Make it go away. I'm happy where I'm at. And I kind of don't blame you too much, because I feel that as a company, we kind of attacked you and deluged you, right? With all this 3D Experience here and 3D Experience there. I don't know that we explained it very well to you. And I feel like you thought that we were replacing your SolidWorks. So I can't really blame you for feeling a little bit like this, right? And let's take a look at SolidWorks World, for example, right? We switched the name to 3D Experience World. So let me just explain a little bit about that. So internally in the land of SolidWorks, we've expanded internally to incorporate all things 3D Experience Works, as we call it. We have new additional brands to add to the power of SolidWorks. For example, we have Innovia Works. Like, what's that, Lynn? Innovia Works allows you to take all this great data management on the cloud to work with, you guessed it, SolidWorks, all right? You may or may not be familiar with Innovia Works, but it works with SolidWorks. And then we also have Simulia Works. That's that great simulation on the cloud that works with, you guessed it, with SolidWorks. And Delmia Works, also manufacturing that works with SolidWorks. So SolidWorks is still the big star here, but we have taken under our wing some of these other brands, these other products, and we didn't want them to feel left out. So we wanted to incorporate all of this together, and that's why we did change the name of the conference. It's one of the reasons why we changed the name of the conference, and that's why we've kind of changed the name to 3D Experience. It's more than just SolidWorks. SolidWorks is still the star, and we know that. Okay, so we're not replacing, we're just adding. Okay, you're right, whatever, Lynn. What is the 3D Experience platform? Okay, and hey, what's in it for me? All right, we'll give you some chance to talk about it, Lynn. I'm hoping you're a little open-minded right now. You want to know what's in it for you. Why should you care? Before we go too far here, I want to make sure that you understand clearly that we are still talking about your SolidWorks, your desktop SolidWorks that you install on your workstation. I want to make sure that you understand that's clear, but we are adding in the power of the cloud. This is not SolidWorks running on the cloud, all right? That's not what we're talking about. Your desktop SolidWorks, but embracing all that the cloud has to offer. We're going to connect it to the cloud, and that is power. So let's talk about that. So I spent, oh my gosh, I swear, I was an early entrepreneur of all things cloud. I've been at least talking about it for a decade. And to me, the 4 big highlights of what the power of the cloud means to you as a CAD user, as a product designer, product developer, wherever you fall in there, comes under 4 categories. One is collaboration. I actually just finished writing an article for engineering.com about all things collaboration and and people hear collaboration. I think it sounds really fluffy, like blah, 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 blah. But there's actually a lot more to the power of collaboration that meets the eye. And I really encourage you to read the article. It's a lot more than what you think. And the mobility aspect of it, I think we all kind of understand the power of the mobility, access to your data anytime, anywhere. The data management aspect of it, I actually think this is where you will find the the biggest excitement around the power of the cloud, what it means to you as a SolidWorks user. I think that's the biggest excitement. And for me, however, it's all about me, I guess, apparently, is infinite computing. To me, that is where you really harness the power of the cloud. You are no longer limited to whatever computer your boss decided that you were worthy of or that your budget could afford, right? You now have the ability to access those 75 million super servers out there so that you can do things that you could never do before. Things like you could do simulation now, right? But now you have the ability to do it so much faster and do it so many more times because and whenever you have those complex computations where you have many different variables, those are the types of things that really wear your systems down. That's when you find out the limitations of your individual computers. Am I right? That's when your computers start to cry. And so you'll find that we'll be doing some things that we really never did do before because of the power of the cloud. All right, so let's talk. Should we talk? Let's start off by talking about collaboration. So how do you start your workday? Now, most people, first of all, you start with coffee. Well, I start with coffee. Most of us start with coffee. But other than that, when you walk into the office and then you open up your computer, or maybe, it's already open for you, and you start off by opening up your email. Do you do that? And then you find out who's been emailing you and what you need to answer and where's that project and what you need to do today. And many of us manage our projects and manage our designs and manage our days, our lives, our work lives with email, which is so linear. And by the way, did you know that the very first email was sent in 1971, almost 50 years ago? And we are still using and embracing email today. I'll tell you, not for much longer, because if you have any, teenagers or our kids in the early 20s that are running around in your house, they'll tell you that they think you're crazy that you're so reliant on email. Am I right? I'm sure there's heads nodding out there. Email is not going to last forever. It's starting to dwindle, but we are still, as businesses, are very, very reliant on it. And once again, very linear, not the best way to manage projects, especially design projects. So let's take a look at some facts, all right? On average, there's 304 weekly business emails. Now, some of us are higher, some of us are lower. I feel like maybe I'm a little bit higher, but that's not too far off for me. For you, maybe it's a lot higher or maybe it's a lot lower. 36 times an hour. The average employee checks their email in an hour. Okay, that is a lot. I hope I don't do that. That is incredibly disruptive. 16 minutes it takes for you to refocus after handling your incoming email. All right, you're working on a project, you're working on a model, and then you switch over to look at your email to maybe check on something. 16 minutes it takes you to get your mindset back into what you were doing before. That's a problem. And that's very disruptive. And that is not good. Those are the types of things that slow you down. Okay, so now the 3DEXPERIENCE platform is a much better alternative for working on projects because it's all inclusive. Yes, we have something in there which is comparable to email, but you don't have to pull out of the world of SolidWorks and out of your design world in order to go check on it. It is all things in one place. You can have your models in there, you can be working on SolidWorks in there, you can all be talking very collaboratively. You can talk to people anywhere in the world, and you can all be working together very team-like, right, in one inclusive environment. It's a much better scenario than this linear approach of email that you have to leave your SolidWorks world to go check out and come back in. Not good, not good. It's also it's very easy to set up projects. And that's another thing I love about the 3DEXPERIENCE platform, in that and easy to set up the projects, I might add. There's a role called project planner, which I absolutely love, where you go in and you say, we have this product we need to get out the door, and these are the milestones to get there. You can assign tasks. Joe, you need to do this, and Shelly, you need to do that, and these are the deliverables along the way. And you can, at any point in time, anyone can take a look at this project into the timeline and see where they're at. Where are we misstepping? And it will let you know if you haven't completed your task in time or if you're running out of time. And when you log in the morning, instead of checking those emails that are going back and forth, it'll let you know that you have a task coming up that's due. And it's it's a much better environment than the land of email, the way most of us are doing. It's way better than Slack too, because it speaks SolidWorks. By the way, Slack, it don't speak SolidWorks. So it's a really great environment, easy to set up. We use this all the time. I will say one thing about the 3D Experience platform at SolidWorks and Dassault Systems. We use the platform every day. We use it for everything that we do. We get our messages up there. We do presentations from the platform. We set up great communities in the platform. I think the next thing I have on here, or the one after that, talks about dashboards. We set up dashboards in the platform, and we speak the speak. We don't just talk about it, and we don't just try to get our customers to embrace it. We use it ourselves, so we know that of which we speak. And this was another thing I was mentioning is that the 3D Experience platform was specifically set up for product development and design. Like, we get you. We build SolidWorks. We know what you need to be successful in your job. And this is the part I was talking about, that at SolidWorks, we're constantly creating these very powerful dashboards so you can generate metrics that anybody can go take a look at any time that they want, and they're constantly updating. You could have ECRs, engineering change requests. You could have it go out and grab metrics constantly. So this is updating at any point in time. You could bring in Excel spreadsheets, make them look really pretty, however you want. We have a lot of pretty impressive dashboards with lots of metrics in them that we use all the time to help us make educated decisions moving forward. All different departments use these. So this is an example where other departments in your company might find that they actually also love the 3D Experience platform. All right, the 3D Experience platform, as I mentioned to you before, setup, loves to work with SolidWorks files. You can do things like issue management, and you can track everything. You can track things back, make sure that they're resolved. Great for issue management. All right, recap. Transparent access into the timeline for all stakeholders. I'm sure you get tired of people coming to you and saying, hey, where are you on this? You don't have to do that. That doesn't happen anymore. It doesn't happen for us. Everybody goes and checks out the dashboards to see where anything is at any given time. They can all look into the project timeline. Nobody has to ask anybody any questions. It's easy to post a SolidWorks model data. I mentioned that to you. You can post it along the way. People can make comments about it. People can grab that data too if they need to, as long as you let them do it. Those very clear task reminders to make sure that everybody stays on track, and much more efficient than email. And people can work concurrently instead of I do this, then you can do this, and then you can do this. You can have people working concurrently at the same time. And those design changes are processed in a very orderly fashion, easily trackable, orderly fashioned, and you don't have to leave SolidWorks. You don't have that huge disruption that you do with email. And then after a while, you're going to truly reap the benefits of true collaboration. Like I wrote in that article, which I highly recommend that you read. You get that increased innovation when you are truly collaborating, when you knock that collaboration up to that next level and you're all working as a true team. You start to get very creative, and you find yourself coming out with better products, better ideas of how to do things, more you're innovative. You just knock everything up to that next level. And you can unite the technical and the non-technical. And you're like, I don't know, Lynn, if I want to do that. But think of this. If you're at the marketing department come to you and say, hey, I need the model for a brochure, you could just say, go get it. You just give them access. They can go get the model. And you'll actually find that all the teams become much smarter about things because they're able to have access into how the whole process happens. If you give it to them, they actually start to see how things are developed, and everybody becomes a little bit more educated when it comes to product development, how it comes to your product being developed, and it just works out so much better. And it's great when the whole workforce is more educated about what happens inside the company. Come on. And your design problems get solved faster because, it's that whole two heads are better than one. Now you could have multiple heads focused when you run into those walls, right? I don't know what to do at this point. I can't figure out how to solve this problem. You got a whole team of people that can help you out. Problems get solved faster. And then I mentioned that fourth bullet. So 5, save time and money. That's what it's all about. We love that. Let's move on to mobility. All right, we all get mobility. We all have smartphones now. We all understand the power of being able to access our bank accounts, our data anytime, anywhere, from any device. Now, we certainly learned this when COVID hit. Did you have access to your data when you were at home? Or was it all on your computer at work? Were you able to log on to SolidWorks from home? Or was your license sitting in your office at work? So we, of course, had to do a lot of jumping around trying to make sure that everybody was able to log on to their SolidWorks license from home. So this is great. The 3DEXPERIENCE SolidWorks offers, which I'll talk about at the very end, they don't care where you are. They are attached to you. So me, Lynn Allen, it doesn't matter where I, Lynn Allen, am, I can log on to SolidWorks because I don't have to check it out from one place and check it in somewhere else. It is associated with me. I just log on with my credentials and I can access it. Now, I do have to have SolidWorks installed on that computer. Once again, this is not a cloud SolidWorks, but nevertheless, I can access it anywhere, which is very, very valuable. All right, CAD on the cloud. I will tell you that there is a full-on CAD solution called, well, the role is called 3D Creator. The actual product is called X-Design. And you're sitting there going, wait a minute, Lynn, did we not have a discussion earlier? Did I not tell you that you can have my SolidWorks when you pry it from my cold, dead hands? I do not want to hear about any other CAD program on the cloud, right? Okay, I understand that. I totally understand. I'm with you on that. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but I'm just going to let you know that there is, with the 3DEXPERIENCE platform, and it does come with these SolidWorks, it's available to you. So I'm just going to tell you about it. You can ignore it. You can say, I don't want to ever see it, and I'm not going to look at it because it's not SolidWorks. You can do that. It's called, the role is called 3D Creator. The product is called X-Design. You could call it either one of those. Everybody's going to know what you're talking about. It is a great product, a great 3D CAD product on the cloud. And it's very similar to SolidWorks. It has a lot of similarities. You'll see in there some of the same tools actually on there, but it's not SolidWorks on the cloud, but it's like I said, a lot of similarities, a lot of power. And some people, guess what? They really do want CAD on the cloud. And so we would be remiss if we didn't offer that. If we didn't have a product for CAD on the cloud, you could see that would be bad, right? I mean, look, our competitors have CAD on the cloud, so we better do that as well. And once again, if you take a look at students coming out of school, a lot of them, if you tell them, okay, you need to install this software on a hard drive, on a workstation, they look at you like you're crazy. Like, why can't I just access it on the cloud? They don't understand this whole installing stuff. So for them, this is a perfect solution. They can go and they can access this. So different generations have different needs and different wants. So here, this is a great solution for them. And once again, when you get CAD on the cloud, it's a mobile application. You can access it anytime, anywhere. So maybe you're sitting, I used to say at an airport, no one's sitting in airports anymore. You're at the ball game watching your son play baseball, and you come up with this great idea. You can pull out a tablet because this runs on a tablet, and you can design away. You could come up with that great idea. And then later, if you wanted to, you could drop it into SolidWorks if you wanted to and continue to work on it. But this is a truly great, powerful program called 3D Creator that some people, believe it or not, absolutely love to use. And it's there for you if you want it. It's there. Maybe someday you'll decide you want to try it. So it's there. In addition to that, this is also on the cloud. This is a 3D surface modeler, which creates organic shapes, those complex surfaces. It's a sub-D modeler called 3D Sculptor. All right. The actual product is called X-Shape The role is called 3D Sculptor. You can call it either one of those. We're going to know what you mean. We usually go with the role of 3D Sculptor. And we're going to hear more about this later, actually, by Daryl. He's going to be talking about it in more detail. But it allows you to create those nice, beautiful, organic shapes. It's easy to use because it's a sub-D modeler, not always so easy to do inside of SolidWorks. And hey, if you create a beautiful organic shape and an industrial-like shape, that you want to use with your SolidWorks model, no problem. Why not? Do it in here and then take it into SolidWorks. No one's going to stop you. And then data management. Now, I also think this is, as I mentioned, this is the part you're going to like the most. I also wrote an article on this for engineering.com. If you're interested and want more details you'd like to read instead of listening, you can go check it out on engineering.com. But let's talk about data management. Now, I feel like this is the part we can all relate to. I know I've been here, right? Have you ever searched so long for a file or a model or a part or whatever that you could have drawn it like 3 times by the time you finally found it, right? Super frustrating. Or you found that you were working on a model only to find out that it wasn't the most recent version, right? You kind of wasted your time. Whew, so annoying. Or if you ever wanted to go back in time and find out who made the changes to this assembly or who did the changes to this part, whatever the situation was, but you have no way to backtrack and find that out. Who did that, right? Or here's an example. If you take a look at that dialog box, I'm unable to locate the file. Ugh, where is it? So annoying. Somebody changed the name and now your assembly doesn't open correctly. Oh my goodness, we're going to open assembly and there's all different pieces are missing. How about that? That's super frustrating. Your files keep getting overwritten. These are all basic data management issues that are painful. And then I know a lot of you are like, I got data management because I have these amazing naming conventions, these really sophisticated naming conventions. That's not really data management, by the way. And then you have to hope that everybody is a rule follower and they're paying attention because one mistake and everything gets messed up, right? And here's another one over here. Have you ever tried to open a file and it says, nope, you can only open it with read-only access? Also annoying. And here I got this guy on the bottom. Which version is the good version? I'm sure we've all been there. Part A, the same files. I don't know which one is the right one to use. Have you been in that situation? You wanted to be able to compare them, try to figure out which one is the right one. You want other people to be able to use your design data, but I don't want them to bug me. I just want to keep doing my SolidWorks deal. You guys stop bugging me, but they need to be able to get to my design data, right? And I want to share my design data, but once you get those really large files and you try to send them, bad things happen. Plus, I don't like to lose control. I don't know what's going to happen when I send them those files. Just this whole data management, data sharing, all of that is very difficult, right? And you've said to yourself, probably, man, especially if you work with large models, you work with a lot of people, you've probably said, I should invest in PDM. I know it's probably crossed your mind, but you've taken a look at the price, the hardware costs, and if you have an IT department, what the cost associated with IT and the hardware could be huge, and you're just like, forget it. It's not worth it, or it's too much work, or it would take too much time to make the transition, and you just decided it wasn't worth it. So, and then last but not least, of course, you want to make sure that your files are safe and secure. Of course, we all want that. We don't want our hard work to disappear and someone else to get a hold of it. So I'm here to tell you that the 3DEXPERIENCE platform offers a great experience when it comes to data management in the cloud with your SolidWorks. And there, I just told you it's a NoviaWorks. I just want you to know that. You don't need to know that. No one's going to ask you for that name, but I just thought, since I mentioned it earlier, now you know. It's that beautiful brand NoviaWorks, one of those pillars I was talking about that makes all this possible. You don't need to know. You don't ever need to say it again, but very powerful. We're connecting your SolidWorks data. That's going to go up in the cloud. That makes sense. You know, we all get that. And now it's safe and secure, very low stress. You don't need to talk to your IT people. Very low IT costs, if any at all. You don't need to worry about hardware. It's in the cloud. You're using those super servers, right? You're always going to be working on the latest version of a file. There's no issues there. Easy to share. You have a complete revision history. You can find out who made those changes and when they made those changes, and you can access it anytime, anywhere, any place, right? Data mobility. It's in the cloud. We haven't had any problems during COVID. I guess technically we're still in COVID, aren't we? And I think this is the most important aspect, that single source of truth. We are all working on one model. It's up in the cloud. We're all accessing the one model. We have a single source of truth. You don't have any, no confusion there. That alone makes it worth it. And then I just wanted to throw this out here. Is it hard to launch SOLIDWORKS from the platform? Is it hard for me to access my data? Okay, you're not going to get all those advertisements that are in this little video. Literally, you log on, which you're just going to hit an enter because it's going to remember who you're at, and you click on SOLIDWORKS Connected. See, you're connecting your SOLIDWORKS with the cloud. Or if you prefer, you can type in, type in the name of the file you want to get into. It'll do an autocomplete, and it will find whatever file you're after. You can get to it that way as well. Very few clicks, very simple. I don't like to have to do any extra clicks or picks. I find that annoying, personally. Infinite computing. As I said, I think this is the most powerful aspect of the cloud, and the part that we're not going to see as much right now, but it's going to continue to develop and develop and develop until I believe the infinite computing aspect of it's going to take over. So we can certainly see it with things like simulation, things like rendering. Think about all those things that are compute intensive, those things that take a long time, those things that really show you how good a laptop you have or don't have, right? Or workstation or whatever type of computer you have, how much you find out how much memory you have, you find out whether or not you should be buying yourself a new computer, that's for sure. So this is a perfect example. Simulation in the cloud, SOLIDWORKS, that's one of those other pillars. So this is a great, great, great cloud product. And here you see an example. We've learned that the red is bad, right? And so SOLIDWORKS allows you to very quickly do some different types of simulation. And because it's in the cloud, it can do that crunching very, very quickly. And we like to test things right before they become real because that saves us time. So there's all different types of simulations you can do, all different type of tests, stress tests and so on and so forth, and pressure tests. There's all different aspects of simulation that you can do with SOLIDWORKS. It's all testing before things become real is good. It'll end up making better products in the long run. And here's a few other added benefits of the 3DEXPERIENCE platform. So we are so excited that SOLIDWORKS 2021 is out, right? You're like, hey, SOLIDWORKS 2021 is out. That's fantastic. And then you're like, oh, great. Now I have to go install it on all those computers, especially you CAD managers. Well, okay, so that part's not so great. So the nice thing about the 3DEXPERIENCE, the SOLIDWORKS 3DEXPERIENCE offers is that they are automatically updated, much like we have updates on our phone, right? Throughout the year, you'll get smaller updates. They're lightweight updates. In fact, when you install the 3DEXPERIENCE SOLIDWORKS offers, the SOLIDWORKS version is actually pretty darn lightweight. I don't know how they made it so lightweight. So just in general, you don't have this downtime and this drag of having to go update it once a year, the new release of SOLIDWORKS. And you're going to get more updates. So you're going to get those cool features sooner and have bragging rights over your friends. That's the number one reason. That's way more important. And it's also very easy to keep track of your licenses, to monitor them. Do I need to add some more licenses or subtract licenses? Have you ever bought another license just because you didn't have a good system for keeping track of them? I hope you haven't done that, but I know it happens. Now you won't have to worry about that. And you can add and subtract anytime that you want. And all of the applications that you really need to be successful is under one platform. It is a one-stop shop. You don't need, Skype and Dropbox and, who knows, all the different things that you have running in your world. It's a one-stop shop. You don't need any of that. It's all one-stop, all specific for product design, product management in one place. Like I said, we do everything from presenting on the platform. We have basically an equivalent to email. We spend very little time in actual email. We have all of our projects managed. We do it all in a one-stop shop on the platform. All right, so this is the part where I sound really salesy. I do not like to sound salesy, but I want to make sure that you understand what the 3D Experience SolidWorks offers are. And I don't want there to be any confusion. And I really love these offers, so I want you to hear them in the best possible light. And apparently, I think I'm the one to tell you that. So there are three 3D Experience SolidWorks offers. These just came out in July, so they're hot off the press. They are great prices. In some cases, actually less than if you just buy SolidWorks alone. All right, and the rest of them, the delta, the difference in price is very low between buying this and plain old getting SolidWorks. So I just want you to at least ask about it, because you could get all of this, or for very close to the same price of just SolidWorks. So that's why you need to know. So if you take a look at the offer on the left, all right, obviously they get more expensive as you go to the right because you get more, but the offer on the left, it might look confusing. So let's sort you out. You can see that they all come with SolidWorks, right? Everybody gets SolidWorks, that SolidWorks that you install on your desktop. The SolidWorks you know and love is on all of them. That's good. In addition to the SolidWorks you know and love, you will get Collaborative Business Innovator and Collaborative Industry Innovator. You're like, what the heck is that? You don't need to know. I'm just going to tell you that those are the two base products, the Experience platform, that get you all that project planning. It gets you all the data management and all the project management that I was talking about. Almost all of the project planning that I was talking about. Not quite all of it, but good, probably 75% of what I was talking about, and all the data management I was talking about is part of those two, the blue bar on the bottom and the yellow bar on the bottom. That's what you're going to get. All the collaboration I was talking about, almost everything that I was talking about so far is it as a result of those two, the blue and the yellow bar on the bottom. All right. We don't want to make it complicated. So just know that's all the goodness of the 3D Experience platform. The 3D Experience platform goodness on the bottom. And then a 3D Creator, that's that CAD in the cloud, which you may or may not be interested in, but that's there in that first offer. It's just there, so you could try it if you want to. No one's going to make you try it. No one's going to make you use it, but it's there if you want to. And then as you move to the middle offer, you still get all the goodness of the 3D Experience platform, all the data management, all the mobility, all the collaboration tools, all the project management that I talked about, almost all of it. And then you also get 3D Sculptor, which is that sub-D modeler, which we're going to be hearing about. And then also, in addition to that, with that last offer, you also get Simulation Designer. Now that is not SolidWorks. That is not simulation on the cloud. I want to make sure that you know that. This is a Simulation Designer is a desktop product that you do install on your desktop. It is connected to the cloud, but it is not SolidWorks. So it's still great, but it's not SolidWorks. But just so you know, I want to make sure you understand. Don't want to pull the wool over your eyes. Okay, so remember, the 3D Experience platform speaks SolidWorks. That's one of the reasons we love it. Slack don't speak SolidWorks. So what's in it for you for the 3D Experience platform? For you personally, because I think I talked about what's in it for your company, but what about you? What about you, right? So you can still take that SolidWorks knowledge that you have and you can continue to build on it. You're adding to it. We're adding to your resume. We're giving you more, right? So you'll have a better experience with SolidWorks in general. It'll be less frustrating. There'll be less tedium, less lost files, less rework. Your projects are going to be more organized. You're always going to be working on the latest and greatest SolidWorks, which I think is always fabulous. You're going to have those low stress automatic updates. Ideally, you'll feel less siloed. I know some of you guys like your silos. I know how you are, but ideally you'll feel more like a part of a team, which is what we should be striving for, so that we can get our design problem solved faster and so that we can come up with better products overall. And you'll also have the ability to be more creative and to innovate more and to not just keep doing the same old thing every day, right? To hopefully be more innovative. And also because you'll have a window into the other parts of the design and manufacturing process, you might have the ability to start to move around a little more. We've actually seen some of that. Thinking a little outside the box there. It'll certainly be easier for you to work remotely. So if that's your goal, this will give you more ammunition for that. That's for sure. It'll be much easier to work remotely. And I think that you'll have more personal growth yourself as you continue to move over to the 3D Experience platform, there are many, many roles up there on that platform that you could adopt, or that you could decide that you want to use. You have a lot more opportunities to embrace as time goes on. You might go, oh, I'd like to use that application over there. That looks like something we could really use, or maybe like to use that one over there. So you could continue, if you want to try some of these other applications and continue to expand what you do and add those babies to the resume, right? And become even more valuable. Those are things I think about, but add more things to the resume. Become more valuable to your company as well, by the way. And so we don't want to be like this, right? Don't be like this. Do not protest against new technology. We want to move on. I know we like to live in our comfortable world, our lovely, comfortable SOLIDWORKS world. And I'm not asking you to leave your comfortable SOLIDWORKS world, but maybe open the window a little bit to add a little technology here, a little technology there, so that you can continue to make your comfortable SOLIDWORKS world even better than it already is. And then I'm often quoting this, and so I like to leave most of my presentations with this. The most dangerous phrase in the language is, we've always done it this way. So on that note, I hope that you will not always do it this way and you'll be open-minded. I want to thank you for your time. Feel free to send me an email if you have any questions at all, lynn.allen@3ds.com. And once again, thank you to Hawkridge for inviting me to present today. And I'm going to turn it back over to you, Glenn.
All right. Thank you, Lynn. That was fantastic. It's going to be really exciting to see how this technology develops into more tools that we can all really take advantage of. But, part of our mission today was to show you some tools that our customers are already working with and that can provide value when used alongside desktop SOLIDWORKS. And the first of those is 3D Sculptor, which features the X-Shape app. I'd like to bring in my colleague, Daryl Speed, to discuss his experience with that.
Hey, Glenn, how are you?
Hey, Daryl. I'm doing good.
Good.
So, you're the Director of Technical Sales here at Hawkridge Systems. You manage a large portion of our engineering team. But tell us a little bit about your industry background.
So I had about 12 years CAD experience before I came to Hawkridge Systems. And I was really fortunate enough to work in some areas where I did concept design all the way from ideation through to CAD models, CAM, CNC programming. So yeah, I had a lot of experience before I came to Hawkridge Systems. Very fortunate in that.
And what CAD tools have you worked on over the years?
A lot of names that people know and love. Alias Studio tools back in the day, Rhino, of course, the SolidWorks suite of tools, as well as numerous CAM packages working in injection molding design.
Yeah. So you had an opportunity to try out 3D Sculptor and the X-Shape app recently. What did you think?
I thought it was great. We as technical people were asked to represent tools and support them. And the easiest way I find to do that is to actually take it for a test drive myself. So what I did was I went and worked on a car project that I find that cars are, among the most difficult forms to work on. And so let me just get this going. There we go. So sub-D modelers, it's all about form creation, all about ideation. And so you can see this car here. It's a Porsche 917 concept that I found online and I thought would make a good project to really put this thing through its paces. And you can see me here just starting out. Basically, it handled the project really well. What you can see here is just a lot of pushing and pulling of points, and that's basically, I start with a box 9 times out of 10. In sub-D modeling, the box is the best place to start. It's just, it's an easy form to manage as the form and as the design gets more complex.
And you're using like the density of those control points to really influence the intensity of the shape and the shape changes? Yeah.
So basically it's really, sub-D modeling is, it's the same process. You just continue to do it over and over again. Basically, you're seeing me, I'm just pinching and pulling points here until the car starts a box. starts to represent the side of a car. And then as you move on a little further and pinch and pull points, you can see that that car or the box actually begins to represent a car. So now I've jumped ahead a little bit, and you can see how the sub-D model really does represent the car from the side. It represents it pretty well from the top. And you can see, like, as with surfacing, really what you want to do with these models is you want to keep them as simple as you can, as long as you can, and then only add complexity where there's complexity required in the model. So I'm going to zoom out in a minute here, and you'll see that where the model is complex, where the wheel wells are and things like that, and there's a lot of shape happening. You can see there's a lot of resolution in the mesh. And then as you go towards the cockpit where the form is simpler, there isn't a lot of resolution. And so some of the basic tenets of surfacing also, they survive into sub-D modeling, and it's really all about being as simple as you can, as long as you can.
So skipping forward a little bit, how does it compare with other tools of this type that you've used?
It's sub-D modeling is very similar among it's you're working with a cage and you're working with a mesh and you're pushing and pulling points, and so I've only used a couple of other sub-D modelers, and it's very similar. Here you can see that we've got a bit of a different environment. What I'm doing here is I'm just showing you that while you're modeling, it's really important to be able to evaluate the form. You can pinch and pull and push for hours to turn a box into a car, but you do need to, from time to time, you really need to be able to step back and evaluate what you've done. And so X-Shape gives you that opportunity. You can see here, I've kind of turned the modeling environment into an evaluation environment. It just gives you that added ability to stop, reflect, take a look, and then make some more change.
Awesome. So it looks like you got the vehicle shape down at this point. Is that as far as you went with this process?
No. So when I started the project, I was hoping if the project went well, that I would have a story to tell that was that ranged right from industrial design ideation in X-Shape through to SolidWorks, where basically you take that gross form and you turn it into a product. You add windows and doors and calipers and discs. So you can see here basically what we've done is gone from a simple gross form in X-Shape previously, and then moved it into SolidWorks and done a bunch of detail work. And then that's not the end of the story. In the SolidWorks, we also have Visualize, and this is a very fun piece of the project as well, where you can, the visuals that you get out of Visualize are so powerful. It's almost like this is a complete product that you're looking at, and it's really fun for me because it's almost like I'm holding something in my hand. So I brought the project in here, added a few materials to it, brought it into an environment, and I've always been a big fan of wind tunnels, so I thought I would try to generate a wind tunnel image in Visualize.
Absolutely. That's really impressive. It's such a great shape, and be able to finish it like that is pretty cool. And we should also highlight that all that modeling work was done in a web browser with no installed software. So leveraging that technology that Lynn talked about. Any feedback
Yeah.
for people thinking about trying out 3D Sculptor?
Yeah, the reason I wanted to do this project is because like most of the people out there, I've heard a lot of conversations about it, but I really wanted to take it for a test drive myself and see what it was like. And what I can tell you, I did this at home at night, and I would walk away from the browser for a couple hours, come back, hit refresh, and it would just pop right up, and I would keep going again. It was robust. It didn't crash. The interface is really nice as well. Like the robot, they call it, the triad, where the tool that you use for pinching and pulling points is great for moving large bulk movements. It's also very nice for complex work where you're doing small, delicate change. Works well there as well. So I was really impressed with it, and it's I think where it really shows its strengths is in that early ideation phase, where if you're using SolidWorks and someone's tasked you with coming up with 4 or 5 designs in rapid succession, you can really feel handcuffed by mechanical CAD in those situations. And this is where X-Shape really does perform.
Fantastic.
And then the final output,
That's really,
so you can
that's
see
really
here the
cool.
final form rendering.
So cool. Yep. Yeah. Just, it's kind of using the right tools for that. Each piece is developed in the right sort of technology, the thing you need. Thank you so much for sharing that, Daryl. It's really cool to see. Okay. I'd like to introduce another colleague of mine. We haven't left you much time here, Todd, but I'd love to introduce Todd Donkey, our 3DEXPERIENCE product manager. Before you kick off, I did just want to highlight that Todd, Daryl, and I will be in the CAD roundtable. I know there's probably seeing a lot of questions in the chat. At 10 o'clock, we'll be in that environment. We'll be able to answer all your questions. But Todd, I'll hand to you very quickly to show one other role that's in use by our customers today, and that is an entry-level data management tool called the Collaborative Designer for SolidWorks that is cloud-based and intended for people that are currently not using data management. You want to
Correct.
take a
Thanks,
5-minute overview of that, Todd? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I'll just I got a couple minutes here. We'll just do a quick look, but I can't say it much better than Lynn did, but I want to, at least for us SolidWorks users, what does this actually look like? We've seen a lot of glamour shots and nice looking videos, but what does it actually look like for me as a user? So it starts on your dashboard, every day, and you can, I've got feeds set up and, things to get information about maybe projects I'm working on, Hawk Ridge blog. I can stay in touch with, team members about a project that I'm working on. So I can always know what's happening there. I can keep track of some tasks I have to do that are in work. I can see my data. And this is where it's going to start. And I'll find this soapbox racer that I built for this. And then we're just going to open it. Again, I'm just on any device connected with the browser right here. And so then here I can just open with SolidWorks. And then what that's going to do is then launch SolidWorks on my desktop. It's not, CAD in the cloud. This is just connecting my desktop SolidWorks to this 3DEXPERIENCE platform. And it pulls the data down to a local folder. So I'm working on it locally on my machine now. But the benefit there being is it doesn't matter. I could be anywhere in the world and I can get that data, bring it down to my workstation and start working on it. So what it looks like here is now we've got, we've got kind of a structure or a vault view. This is the add-in that you get with your 3DEXPERIENCE platform. And so you can kind of see, how your local copies compared to, what's up on the platform. Revision control. You can map your attributes and custom properties in SolidWorks to the platform, so you can search and do things like that. Use those downstream. So what it would look like is just real quick to make a change here is maybe in this chassis. We'll go to one of the sub assemblies, and now to make a change, I need to take control of it. I'm going to change one of the parts and the assembly overall. So what I do is reserve it, and that's what tells other people you cannot change it now. I have control of this, or ownership, or I've checked it out, and now I'm the one who can make a change. And so we'll just add a quick feature here so that we know it's different. Okay, and now you'll see here in the vault that it's showing me clearly my local copy is now newer than what's in the vault, and to share it, I just save it back up to the platform. And I have the choice to bump the revision or not. But at least now everyone who needs that data, anyone using the platform and accessing the data there will have will see the absolute latest and greatest. So it's a real easy to use interface, right clicks everywhere, and just nice and easy, unobtrusive and easy to use.
So Todd, if I can interrupt there.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, with this data up on the cloud, you've got anyone with access to your vault and a web browser can see the attributes, the state, the rev status, all of that stuff. It's pretty powerful, hey?
Correct. Agreed. And then I can use those. Yeah. And then there's previewing built into the web browser. So anyone can load those 3D models, spin them around, take measurements, mark them up, use those to communicate in your teams about what changes you want to make, or what, some desired, changes you want to affect.
Yeah, so I think we'll put up a video of kind of a richer demo of this experience. We're up against a hard stop here at 9:55 Pacific. But to all of the attendees in today's session, feel free to stick around. We'll answer some of those questions that you've been posting. We'll make sure everything gets an answer. So come back to the chat feed for this session and enjoy your day at our conference. Make the most of the last day of our Design and Manufacture conference. We appreciate you being here. We thank you very much for your time.